Phil, talk. Let's see if we can hear you.
I didn't read that article from Mitch McDowell. Oh. Hopefully. Was it today's paper?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I better go back.
Yeah.
You
Tracy,
listen.
can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Because I wasn't responding?
Yeah, I didn't know you. I didn't know if you were muted or not.
I wanted to ask you what you had in the cup. Did you run some over? Did you share?
Taco Tuesday somewhere.
I need a haircut. Oh.
I'm trying for a virtual haircut.
Yeah, Phil, you look like your hair's trimmed. I think you'll make it.
Ooh, I got in.
Good.
Ooh. Hello.
Hey, Gary, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Gary's birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Birthday.
I've just been out drinking and dancing.
Cool.
Good for you.
Oh, no, you can't drink and dance outside of the house.
Well, you can drink it
Outside.
outside.
You won't believe your eyes.
Everybody's in advance. How nice.
One from Steve, Pride.
No, Adele.
Not gonna make it.
I don't know. I didn't see her on here. It's
You didn't give me the passwords.
6:56. So we got 4 minutes. I was whipping through these things. No, I'm out of order. What?
Design build, refresh, renew, remodel.
Only tonight, all of you at home, America Strong. It was last night here we reported on the growing food lines across this country and the disabled Army veteran, the father of 3, Don Hayden, in line in Florida. For hours.
Somebody's got Channel 8 on.
Who's watching TV?
Yeah.
Hey, Christine, can you take the minutes tonight?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bill Godwin for Hot Rose, Missouri.
We were heartbroken and we want to help.
Who's here? It took over. I can't see.
So that they can buy groceries. Bill's a veteran and I'm a teacher and we like for people.
And Gina Langle from Bridgewater, New Jersey, watching too.
All right, who's watching TV?
Mine's off.
Everybody's got their cocktails, I see. That's good.
Yep. Madison's fantastic first birthday.
Coffee by Maxwell House.
You know Marianne Roselle?
Uh-huh.
It's her little granddaughter. It was her first birthday back in, I don't even remember, March.
Ah.
Yeah. Hi, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hanging in just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave.
Hey, Phil, how you doing?
Phil, you know
Hi,
we
Phil.
know the top of your head, right?
Can you see all of it or just the top?
Just the top with these, sometimes the
Come
eyes
down
pop
just
up
a
in the
little
screen.
lower, Dave.
How's that? Oh, geez. How's that?
Perfect.
Much better.
I was talking about Phil.
Oh,
Gary, I can't
He's
talk.
got more hair.
There's a little better. I mean,
There's Phil.
it's still a little off, but you can see yourself.
now I realize that.
Carrie, you made it.
Yeah, I got in.
I know.
Wow, it's a miracle.
You're such a sweetheart.
6:59.
Who's missing?
Oh,
No, I just legally have to wait till 7. In case people want to come in.
well, we're waiting for, this is the villa too.
Well, we can start.
I'm here, but I'm going to put my phone down because I got to go throw the dog a bone.
Okay,
I do have to throw the dog a bone.
sure. TMI, but thank you.
Cloudy,
7 o'clock.
my buddy.
I will call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Present are myself, Bill, Chris. Let me go down the screen. Adele, I can't get to the screen.
I'm here.
Dave. Who did I miss?
Me?
Christine. Carrie.
Don't forget Carrie.
I think I got them all. We're all here. So we have a full seated board. So Adele won't be seated, but she is still part of the board. So
I know, I got to keep my mouth shut.
no, you just can't vote.
I know.
Something came up. I wanted to bring it up. I don't know if Beach and Rec is here. Chris.
Yep.
Oh, Chris.
I don't know if they're here.
I don't know if they're here. Before we get to that,
Hold
I
on.
don't know if you want to open up the budget.
Kristen, are you here? He's not here.
Well, moving on because this is a bit of a time event.
Open it up, baby.
Chris, you want to open the budget?
It's open. Can you see it?
No.
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 We can see your screen, but it's not open.
Yeah, it's not open.
I don't know.
Now it
There
is.
it is.
I wanted to revisit an old job that hasn't been filled in 6 years, and it's becoming the same issue it's always been, and that's having the second fiscal clerk.
Let's vote on it again.
I make a motion that we have a fiscal clerk.
Can't make a motion. You're not seated.
I
Oh,
don't think
crap.
it's carried.
Right, sorry.
So I do it? I make a motion?
Mm-hmm.
I've never done this before. Okay, so I have completely changed my mind. I want a fiscal clerk too.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. Okay, discussion, because we jumped into making a motion. We obviously all want one. Now we have to fund one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm swamped over here. It's a lot for me to maintain and get all this stuff in advance of meetings, get agendas done, get minutes done, coordinate with the treasurer's office. I mean, before, when we shot this down, it wasn't gonna be this difficult because we didn't have a pandemic in mind. But with the pandemic, this has been a whole lot on me, guys, so I'm for the fiscal clerk right now.
Yeah, I've been on the board. I mean, always was a fiscal clerk that was really dedicated to the Board of Finance. They pretty much did all this stuff. They made copies, they made reports, they took our minutes, you know, all that good stuff that went away. We don't need to revisit history. Many board members have stepped up to the plate like Chris did. I've done it. We've lost board members because we find out it is a ton of work. I don't think it's a ton of work for somebody whose job is to do that. It's a ton of work for people to take on in their spare time. And so I'm definitely for it. What we need to do is fund it.
Well, how about, right now, we don't even have Joanne Jacks. Why don't we eliminate that position and have the fiscal clerk come in and write the minutes?
Yeah, I think we kind of have to because, you know, we hired somebody to do the minutes because of the fact that it's very hard to concentrate on the meeting and do the minutes. But again, a fiscal clerk somebody that would be in the fiscal office and would also be required to come to the meeting. I want to go back to that position, the original position that the Board of Finance used to have. I don't know as far as time. I was thinking 10 hours a week. And, you know, I don't know an amount. So as we discuss it, what does everybody else think? I mean, obviously it's not going to be somebody's full-time position, but it could be a nice little side gig for somebody.
Well, Chris, what are you putting into it a week?
Yeah, I think 5 hours is probably realistic because you got to figure our meeting and budget season runs about 2 hours and they're going to be there at the meeting. And then Joanne Jacks, if you look at her invoicing, is usually about an hour and a half. And that's putting minutes together. And I mean, part of this job would be minutes, agenda, make available any material that we want, get our copies and stuff ready for us, liaison with the fiscal office. We can have expenditure reports. And if we have any questions that we need answered from the fiscal office and we don't have a treasurer that's going to attend our meetings, that would be the clerk's job to get us those answers or that information, I think 5 hours is satisfactory at minimum.
Yeah, how
I
much?
think a minimum during budget season, I would think it would be closer to 10. And I think part of it is, updating the spreadsheet and copies and stuff like that. The other part of this you haven't lived through yet is, we also, in normal times, and we're going for next year, so hopefully it's normal times, make all the copies. You've also got an annual report in there that we were paying Joanne to do.
Yeah, and that one, can't we take, it never got finished. It's maybe not her fault because she didn't get all the numbers, but did we pay her to do this and it's not?
She did the year before, so we haven't done
Yeah.
last year's. We haven't
She
started
did.
last year's.
Yeah, she did an old one, not the newer one.
Right. So we still have to do last year's. I know it would be hard to hire somebody in the middle of this pandemic, and training somebody in the fiscal office would be turned impossible, and social distancing, we might have to suck it up. I'll try to help out a little more, Chris. I know I've been a poo-poo head about that, only because I'm tired and I've done it for many, many years.
Tracy, what are they going to be doing in the fiscal office?
Well, I'd like somebody to be able to run reports for us and make copies for us. And I'm going back to the traditional fiscal clerk 2 job. And that's what they did. That was their
They
job.
won't be in the fiscal office. This will be a finance clerk for the Board of Finance. We already have a fiscal clerk.
We used to, well, then we're talking
We had
apples and
2 fiscal
oranges.
clerks in the past. We don't
Yes.
have it anymore because now we have a more hands-on treasurer.
Well,
Don't have a treasurer?
I-
No.
Do we have a new treasurer?
You can have a finance clerk.
I'd like them to be
Can I
able
say
to be
something?
the traditional fiscal clerk.
With access to the systems at all, no.
What would that be?
Can I? Okay.
Hold on. Why?
We can send them the information and they could do all the, loading of the, laptop for you with your forms and printing it out.
Okay, again, we had a fiscal clerk too, and they did a lot more than just take minutes.
And again, that was back when we didn't have a treasurer that was doing what they do now.
We
That was
don't have a
back when we
treasurer.
had- I'm sorry.
We don't have a treasurer.
Yes, we do. And that was back when,
Who's our treasurer?
can I finish?
No, I want to know who the treasurer is. I am
Anyway,
so,
that was back
so
when we had a
upset
treasurer that
because
was working for maybe 10 hours a week on
stop.
Sunday night.
stop.
Okay, all right, everybody, wait a minute.
Now we have one fiscal clerk and one treasurer. So if you want to hire a finance clerk, that's fine.
Who is the treasurer?
I'm not going to
Excuse
respond.
me, Tom, who is the treasurer?
Nancy's the treasurer.
And how much is she making?
Treasurer.
How much is she making?
Until Carrie calms down, I'm sorry.
I'm not going to calm down. I asked for a copy of the information because I cannot open things up. I am not only compromised immune-wise, but I am now poisonous to other people. I just needed a copy. Tom, you make $55,000. Your assistant makes, now it says $50,000, and no one will do a few copies?
Until you calm down.
Why on, wait,
Well, that's up
because
to
I have
chairman and
I
whoever
have
else.
22 things that have never been answered. I've had it. I've
I
absolutely
don't control
had
it.
it.
This is not the
Yes,
time of
mute
the
button,
place.
and it isn't me.
This is
So-
no way to behave at a
Again,
meeting.
I'm not gonna put
All right.
up with, I'm gonna listen. to it.
Listen, guys, all right,
Thanks,
Chairman
Steve.
here speaking.
How
I
are
have
you,
no
Jeff?
control over these meetings, so everybody needs to hit the mute button for a minute, and I have no control over that.
Well, Chris does.
So let's just stop and take a breath. I'm going back. I know everybody's frustration right now. I've seen it on the board for 6 years. I've seen good people leave because of this reason. And what I'm asking for is the job that the Board of Finance used to have, somebody that had access to the stuff, they could print stuff, they could do the budget. That's what we're asking for.
What you can have is a finance clerk that will do the duties that you're looking for outside of the fiscal office. They'll be sent the reports that you want them to print them off. That's excellent, that's wonderful. They'll have their own laptop, I'm assuming, like a Board of Finance laptop to do that with.
Well,
This will not be a person working in the fiscal office.
all right.
Tell you what, let's agree to get the clerk and we can discuss the job clarifications, the salary, the hours. We can discuss that at a later meeting because right now we've got Kristen waiting to present her budget, guys, and it's not right to make her wait any longer while we debate this.
I don't even think I'm in favor of putting a fiscal Board of Finance clerk in the works until there is a discussion. Let's have the discussion first, then the vote on the position.
Well, there's a motion on the table.
So is there a motion for fiscal clerk or finance clerk? So I can put it correctly in the notes.
So let's put it off until we can have it thoroughly discussed and not be an embarrassment to ourselves and any guests that we have here.
Well, there's a motion on the table. We can rescind the motion. I'm not going to send the budget. I do want to take time to discuss this. This has been a problem with this for the board members personally for 6 years. And it's coming up again. So I want this to be part of this year's budget. If we want to do beach and rec and we want to rescind the motion at this point in time and revisit it, that's okay. But I seriously not going to send this budget through until we hash this out. I see another good board member going the way that 2 other good board members did, and that's upsetting.
I'm going to make a motion to rescind the motion that was made.
Is there a second to that?
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Okay,
Aye.
Then we will revisit that. We'll do beach and rec.
so
It
Chris
will be revisited.
rescinded and David, hold on, taking notes here. Chris rescinded and David seconded.
No,
Yes.
Bill rescinded.
needs a
Bill.
second.
Okay, sorry.
Who's in favor?
I, again, have little control over the Zoom meeting. Is Kristen here?
I'm here. Hi, everybody.
All right, Kristen.
Hey,
Could
Kristen.
you put the beach and records up, please, Chris?
Yep, Kristen, where do you want me to start?
Hi,
I'm here too, FYI.
oh, I'm sorry. Lisa Harrison's here, our chairman.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you for joining us. Whatever you think is appropriate, Chris. If you just want to, go through the regular budget first and then do the PowerPoint afterwards, or you think it's more important to do that PowerPoint first? I'm not
yeah,
sure. How
Let's
you
do the
want to
PowerPoint.
go.
let's finish with your budget. We'll start with your PowerPoint.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris.
Just tell me when you want to see the next slide, okay?
Okay. Yeah, we can go ahead. Okay, good. All right. Well, this is just a little bit of background information about the programming for Beach and Rec. So there is an expense account, and there's also a revenue side for whatever funding we recoup from some of our programming that we have. So I just listed some of them there for you to give you a little bit of a general idea where we're at as of April of this year with that. So for example, our karate program and also our step aerobics program and the eccentric program as well. The instructors charge 10% over the cost to the students, and then the town retains that 10% as part of our revenue stream. You'll notice that there's a little bit of a revenue for those three exercise programs. And then we also offered a summer camp program this past summer. That was a first time event for us. First time out of the gate, we weren't really sure what kind of response we were going to get, but we really wanted to give it a try. So we did charge for that, but unfortunately we didn't meet the total expense for that program. But of course the kids that were involved did benefit from that tremendously, I have to say. And then there are a lot of programming that we offer our community, our Morris residents, that there is not a fee charged for. It's just a straight up expense to us, as part of the benefits that we offer to our residents in town, such as the Halloween event, our annual Easter celebration. We have movie nights at the beach, the tree lighting celebration. We also do a collaborative program with the Morris Public Library regarding Legos. And then we have a decorating contest for the holidays. So all of those are separate programming that we don't charge fees for, but that are enjoyed, by all of our residents in town. So at the next slide, we'll just show you some of the photographs, just some visual representation or documentation, so you get an idea of the kind of response that we get to our programming. Oh, Chris, maybe you don't have the latest version?
Yeah, Chris, I'm only seeing one slide here.
Yeah, I don't think I have the latest one. I don't have the photos.
Oh, darn.
And you posted them, Chris.
Yeah, hold on.
There
let me
is the
find-
PowerPoint presentation, Chris, I think somewhere.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, because you did post them.
I couldn't pull them up. Sorry.
Ten seconds, I'll have it.
No worries.
No, the version I have doesn't have photos. I'm looking at the latest one you sent me. The other one, the Mass ordinance stuff has photos.
Really?
Yeah, we try another one.
I would just send it to you right now, but I'm on my personal laptop and my desktop is on the ground, so it would be a little challenging for me to try to get it for you right now.
Yeah, no problem. I think I can get it. Give me just a second. All right, I got it. 10
Okay,
seconds.
great. Thank you.
Am I only seeing Phil?
He's a young basketball player.
I'm not seeing anything but, well, I just saw you, but I don't.
And we're back.
Yes, we are. Hi, Tracy.
We're not. In the meantime, I mean, we can come back to that.
Hold on, I got too many screens open. All right.
Digital age, gotta love it.
And a couple small pieces of Scotch tape.
At least I'm not
All
on computers right now.
Forget that.
The camera. I don't know if the camera's on or not.
There we go.
I don't know if the
Okay,
camera
can I just jump back in?
You're on.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. So this is just a sampling of some of the events that we offer to the community that are free of charge. That's our Easter egg hunt. That's from last year, of course. This year's Easter egg hunt was much different, and hopefully will never be like this again. Picture on the bottom is that collaborative program that I mentioned with the Morris Public Library that we offer to JMS students. It's called, we call it our Lego Fun program. That goes on during all of the half days that the school has for professional development. So it's nice for parents to have their kids have something to do that ends when the regular school day normally ends. So it's just something we offer to parents to make things a little bit easier. Let's go to the next slide, Chris, please. This is another program that we offer to the community in collaboration with our annual Memorial Day picnic and parade. I think this is going to look a little different this year too, but this was from last year. It was a lot of fun. So immediately following the parade, you may not know, but we invite everyone to come back over to the pavilion. We have live music, and our Beach and Recreation Commission volunteers their time, and we have hot dogs and beverages for the community. We ask everyone to bring in kind of a potluck event, bring an appetizer or a dessert or something to share, and everyone just gets together as a community and enjoys some food and some live music, and it's really a great event, great day. We really enjoy doing that for the community, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year, but that's okay. It's always next year. And then on the bottom, that's our Halloween event. This past Halloween, we normally do a trunk or treat where the community is all welcome to come and decorate the trunks, and the kids can go around in a safe manner and do some trick or treating in an enclosed space, just such as the JMS parking lot. But the weather was so terrible this year for Halloween, we kind of brought it into the community hall at the town hall, and we did what we called a table or treat. So we invited parents and families to come and decorate a table instead and have the kids come through and trick or treat at each table. And then we had a magician there for some entertainment. Again, that was, you know, complimentary to the community. That's not something that we charge for. And this is one final example of what we offer. This is our annual tree lighting celebration. You know, we do this in collaboration working with the Reading Room Committee and the Morris Public Library to offer this every season, every holiday season. We, of course, light the lights on the tree, and we bring everybody back to Community Hall to do a craft for the kids while they wait to go see Santa. We have hot chocolate for them. Of course, that's complimentary as well. But those are just some of the things that we offer on a yearly basis for families in town. So I know there was some concern about the parking permits at the Morristown Beach. So I wanted to try to touch on that a little bit, financially speaking anyway. You know, as you all know, this ordinance was passed at a town meeting almost unanimously. I think we had one negative vote, but it was passed, you know, resoundingly. So just to show you, this is for the summer of 2019. In permit revenue, we took in $1,440, and that was for 217 permits purchased. Some were purchased as season passes for Morris residents, some were purchased as season passes for out-of-town residents, some were day passes. So they're all mixed together there in that 217 number. The staff expense brought us out to $4,305, and those were, I just thought I'd mention 5 Morris residents that were employed seasonally last year. So that initial cost difference looks to be $28.65, but if you just hang with me and we go through the bottom of the slide, you'll see it's not really as bad as it looks. If you look at our cleaning services, so the pavilion up at the Morristown Beach, you may not know, but there are 2 restrooms up there that of course need attention during the summer. So during the summer of 2018, prior to our town ordinance for parking permits, the expense was $2,285 to clean the pavilion restroom for the summer, the same time period from Memorial Day to Labor Day. That's about when we clean those restrooms, when they're maintained. So for the summer of 2019, with the installation of the gate guard, the fee was only $716. So we saved $1,569 in cleaning costs. Pretty plain to see. And then if we go further down the next line, the town crew removing trash. So whenever the town crew would go down to do the mowing at the beach and at the fields, they would of course need to pick up the trash first. So I just did a rough estimate. If they if they mowed twice a week, they would have to spend probably about an hour each time picking up all the trash. And they had to do, that was much reduced in the summer of 2019, again, because of the gate guard. That's your cost saving there. And then I also did the same. I would go down usually on a Friday morning prior to the weekend to pick up trash. And then again on the Monday morning after the weekend to clean up the mess. So obviously I didn't have to do much of that at all. So I kind of gave you an estimate in that too. So in the end, it looks like it cost the town about $486 to fund that parking permit situation. And the gate guards have a log sheet, so any person that enters the beach or tries to enter the beach, they do make a note of that, what their permit number is. And if anybody was turned away for not having a permit, or we noticed that a lot of people would start to pull into the driveway and they would see the gate guards there at the shed and they would just make a U-turn and leave. So I had them tally all those cars and I totaled that for you. We turned away 314 cars last summer, which really, you know, is a tremendous impact on such a small little beach such as ours, honestly. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, so this looks similar to the PowerPoint presentation that I presented at the town meeting. I just wanted to show people what we were up against in the summer of 2018. So this kind of gives you an idea. The upper left-hand picture, there was a whole bunch of kids there literally smoking a hookah in the middle of the beach on a picnic table. The photo next to that to the right is another family that had set up for the night to overnight camp. That is a tent there on the side of the Horseshoe Pavilion. They had tapped into the electricity in the Horseshoe Pavilion, you know, had the grills out, the family dog, I mean, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. And then the photo on the bottom on the left just shows people would bring in literal pergolas and set them up at the beach, and they were just there from sun up to sundown. And then just the photo next to that doesn't really do it too much justice, but just to give you an inkling of the kind of trash that we would find there on the weekend or after the weekend was over. And then those photos to the right are all of the restrooms and the condition that we would occasionally find them in after a weekend at the beach. And again, this is all prior to the parking ordinance being in place. Okay, need some water, fine. So I also thought I'd take this opportunity to, Lisa, you could please come into this part especially as well.
You're doing very well, Krista.
Oh, thank you kindly. So the Morris Beach and Recreation Commission has a checking account, which we use for our fundraising. That is not an account that I have access to. I am not a signer on that account. The only signers on that account is Lisa Harrison, who is our chairman, and our treasurer, who is Kelly Taylor. So we have been having a great response from the community with our fundraising. For example, this car show on the beach, which we held in October, was an outstanding event. And I just wanted to make mention that, of course, any of these fundraising events that we do, the seed money or the initial expense money that we need to run this fundraising event come from this checking account. We do not take any funds from the town budget to try and fund a fundraising event and then retain that revenue. That's not something that we do. So the seed money always comes from the checking account, and then the revenue goes back into the checking account. And the goal of this checking account and these fundraisers are to fund capital projects at the Morristown Beach, at our pavilion, some of the properties that are down there for our athletic field. So these are really a cost saving to the community by doing these fundraising. So again, we have a comedy night every year at South Farm. Ben Pileski is extremely generous and allows us to use his space. And we have a fantastic comedy night. We've done that 2 years in a row now. It's really very well received. And so some of the projects that we've completed are regarding the kitchen at the pavilion. So that town building that was erected there had space for a kitchen. All the outlets and ports were in place for that kitchen, but our understanding is there wasn't enough funding to finish the kitchen. So it was just an open room. There was no sink, no stove, no refrigerator. There was no plumbing. There was nothing in there. So that was one of our major goals. When I came on as the director of Beach and Recreation, our commission decided we wanted to finish the building, put the commercial kitchen in there so that that can turn around and be another source of revenue for the town by renting out that pavilion to members of the community to have a family reunion or a graduation party or anything like that. So that's where some of our money has gone so far. We've spent about $1,250 on the kitchen project. I have some slides to show you afterwards. We anticipate about another $1,500 to spend down there to really get it to where we'd like it to be, and then feel comfortable offering it for rental. We are also working on a outdoor kiosk, we're calling it, for the beach. Something like what you would see at White Memorial. So it looks more aesthetically pleasing to the area, where we'll post the rules about the beach, maybe some notes about the town of Morris, asking people obviously to pick up their trash and things of that nature, kind of like a bulletin board. We can share information with the community. That's something that we're working on getting built for us. And then another huge project that we're trying to complete is to rehab what we call the lower cabin at the beach. So there is a pavilion at the top of the hill, and then down a little bit lower towards the beach is another cabin that used to be used back in the day for a camp program. and it's pretty raw, the building, and kind of needs some love and attention. So we're going to try to spend some money to get that back up, not only to code, but to make it a little more aesthetically pleasing. So then that can also be another source of revenue for the town by renting that building out too. All right, Chris, the next slide. Yeah, so this, I just took some pictures of the items that we purchased and the things that we did in that kitchen at the pavilion. Lisa and I purchased a 3-bay sink, you'll see there. We also purchased a hand wash sink, and then we hired a plumber to install all of that and run all the plumbing there, which was quite an expense, a lot more than we thought it was going to be, quite honestly. We also purchased a little chest freezer and some shelving too, with our fundraising money. And that's it.
Kristen, do you want to go? I'll tell you, I have your other slide about the proposed town board. You want to look at that?
I'm sorry, Chris, the other slide's about, what'd you say?
I have your slide about the proposed beach ordinance.
Oh yeah, no. I think, I pulled from that into this one, so I think we're okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we want to go line by line then through, or?
Sure, I'll open up the budget.
Okay, so that first line item, summer salaries, that relates to our gate guards. Obviously, as you know, we're not really 100% sure what's going to be going on down there this summer. Our fingers and toes are crossed that we're going to be able to open the beach and go on like normal. Everything's going to get back to the way it used to be. That's the hope and plan. But as it stands right now, we're going to move forward thinking that we're going to have those gate guards back down there. So that's what that first line item is for. Cleaning services after that, that's pretty self-explanatory. You can see there's been a decrease, as I mentioned before, for cleaning services needed down there with the gate guards in place. So it may not end up that I need that whole $2,000 if the gate guards are allowed to continue, being there. So because it's such a gray area, I think that we need to keep that there just in case. I don't know. Everything's just so uneasy and up in the air. It's really hard to tell. Rest of utilities, the propane, telephone, electricity, pretty self-explanatory, I would say. I don't know if you had any particular questions on any line item that I should touch on specifically.
I have questions about the $4,500 for kids to sit in a box. If I went to Mount Tom to find out the salaries and what everybody does. The kids are minimum wage, and they not only check to see if people have their passes or if they didn't pay on the weekends, but they clean the beach and they clean the bathrooms. And when that stand is open, they are involved in that as well. And we just are paying, the country's going down the drain, and I don't see people just sitting in there and making this kind of money when a lot of us are going broke. So who were the people that were employed at the beach? The names of the people that were employed at the beach.
Well, I just want to ask, before we get too far off the track, I think what's valuable with this is how many hours and how many people did you have it? Because I will admit I did not go to the beach. And so I know there was gate closing in that, but what was the budget as far as hours, number of people, and all that? to refresh how we got
Okay, let me
to,
get that for
I know
you.
we did 4,000 last year.
So the shifts were such as this. It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is when the beach guards, the gate guards were there. So on Friday, the hours were from 2 to 8 p.m. Saturday from 9 to 2, and then 2 to 8. Sunday from 9 to 2, and then 2 to 7. And I had employed 6 people for those positions.
Were they local kids?
They were 3 retired gentlemen, 2 of which resided in Morris, 1 from Litchfield, and 3 college students, all of whom resided in Morris.
Were these all published jobs? I mean, were they?
Sure. Yeah, we advertised on our Facebook page. I sent out an email to our constant contact. It was posted on the town bulletin board.
Was it published in the paper?
In my office at the Morris Senior Center.
Was it published in the paper?
It's not required to be published in the
We
paper.
published it in the paper. I don't think we needed to.
Nope.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of kids that are looking for summer jobs.
It didn't sound like they
Well, we
were.
were trying, can I interrupt? We were trying hard not to hire kids because we had so many issues in the past and we were worried that there might be some violence or some issues at the gate. We were really trying to hire older people that we thought could handle the situation.
Okay, but
Once
you had 3 college students.
we did, because we couldn't get enough older people to fill the position. So then we continued on with just advertising locally.
Yeah, as opposed to high school kids, right?
Correct. And we also, we didn't want to pay to advertise. We have enough free ways of advertising.
Right, and
We didn't need to go crazy.
I didn't want to be inundated with applications, or the first selectman's office to be inundated with applications for such a small job with so few hours, available.
So you're talking basically about 27 man hours a week. I just did the math. So it's sounds like it's 3 days, but it looks like there's 11 hours on Saturday and 10 hours. So 27 hours. And how many weeks did you say that was from Memorial Day through?
Right. We started
Labor.
Memorial Day weekend was our what I call our soft opening.
Uh-huh.
The first year we were doing this, Memorial Day weekend, and then ended Labor Day weekend.
I think you
I have a question about another line item. If you could address the line item for $10,000 for the programming. What is program?
So as I touched on in the PowerPoint presentation, some of our programming involves a lot of exercise instruction. So we have a step aerobics instructor that we offer.
All right, so
year-round.
that was from your first slide, correct?
Right.
Okay.
That's correct.
On your first slide, I noticed that for basketball, for example, you had $1,400 expense and you have revenue of $625.
Right.
Tell me a little about what do you charge? What's the fee to do those kind of things? And if you had to guess, how many kids went through the basketball program that was $1,400?
Yeah. So that was as I mentioned earlier, that was our first shot at that out the gate. We wanted to see what kind of response we would get and offer some kind of camp program here in Morris. Lisa, I don't know if you can jump in, please, at any time too. We had some really great superstars, quite honestly, up at Wamogo for high school, and those 2 of those boys were kind enough to run this camp for us. So we had some star quality involved, and we paid them. It was a 2-week program. We broke the program down between age groups. So there was one age group for 2 hours and an older age group for 2 hours. And those 2 boys taught both age groups for the full 2 weeks. It was a 5-day program, Monday through Friday. I don't remember exactly what we charged. We tried to keep it as, we wanted to cover our costs, but having never done this before, we weren't really sure what kind of response we were going to get. And we wanted to pay those boys, an equitable wage for the services they were going to be providing us, anticipating we would get a bigger response than we did, quite honestly.
So you had two fellows from Wamogo for 2 weeks.
Right.
So basically, you paid each guy $350 a week for the basketball program for 2 weeks.
We bought some T-shirts for the kids and some basketballs. So I don't know if it was exactly, if I can get my hands on a folder, I don't know if it was exactly $350, but somewhere around there. Yeah. Right. We paid the boys $300 a week to run the camp.
How many hours a day, Kristen?
4 hours a day.
So they worked 20 hours a week and they got $300 a week.
Correct. And we charge participants $50.
Okay. Thank you.
Can
I back up?
On that same line item? And I guess this is the one going back to the line item budget. You're asking for 10,000 on that, but I see last year that you spent 5741. So going into this year's budget, you're asking for the 10,
Correct.
and last year you spent just a little under 6. So are there programs that you're planning on doing here now, or the
Yeah, we had
the
done,
$4,000 difference is what I'm looking for?
right. So I weren't able to do a yoga program last summer. So I am hoping to pull that back this summer again. That's something that we offered in the past. We had a yoga on the beach series. I also tried to offer a different type of adult exercise program too. We did something called Pound last year. So I would like to try to offer something for a more extensive basis for a longer period of time for adult exercise aside from the step aerobics. And then we're hoping to do more movie nights at the beach. You know, we're just hoping to kind of amp things up. Maybe a yoga program for children as well. Trying to vary our programming and offer something a little different, a little extra.
I see year to date, you're over 7,000 right now.
Say that again, I'm sorry?
Year to date, you're over 7,000 expense right now.
Okay, for this year, yeah.
Do we know where that would be added in on the spreadsheet that you gave us? What that extra?
What it was spent on, I don't have that.
No, yeah.
Well, I have a question to ask, not to interrupt, and I'm going to go back to the report for 2018-19. I have a question in regards to the vending machines. Were they purchased?
It is a single vending machine that was purchased through the Beach and Rec checking account as an additional fundraising opportunity for us. So that vending machine is located at the beach under the pavilion during the summer months.
So
And
you
then
so you purchased a vending machine for $7,451.66.
I don't have the exact amount. That sounds about right. I thought it was in the $6,000 range, but could be, yeah.
Well, according to this report here, it's $7,451.66.
Okay. I
And
don't have the same report in front of me. I'm sorry.
okay, well, but I mean the revenue from it was only $14.95.
Again, this was something that the Beach and Rec Commission voted on to make a purchase of, and they used their own fundraising money to do so.
We're hoping that it's going to pay for itself over the long haul. We looked at renting them or bringing a company in, and it just seemed more lucrative for us. If we all agree that it's a huge expense, but you know, in the first year we made $1,400. Hopefully, now that people know it's there, it's going to continue to make us money, and within the first 5 years, it should have paid for itself and be, you know, making us a profit. That's our hope.
So
We're trying to look
is it
long-term and
reasonable?
not just-
Is it reasonable to expect that the vending machine will last 5 years plus 5 years?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. This is top
Okay.
of the line. This should last us a good 20 years at least.
Oh, that sounds like a good investment.
Yeah.
I have one other question. Back to the summer camps and that kind of stuff, the fees for people. Is my understanding that the Morris fees are less than the residence fees, or how do you, is the fee the same for everybody?
For the beach,
With regard to programming or with regard to the parking permits?
Programming.
No, with regard to programming,
Let's say, let's say basketball, or you talked about doing exercises, classes, and that kind of stuff, and yoga.
the fees are
Does
the
a resident from Morris pay the same as a resident from Watertown, or how does that work?
yes.
The fees are, oh, go ahead, Lisa.
The fees are the same across the board. Most of the time, probably 95% of our people are from Morris. But if
Okay.
we do, for some reason, have a kid that wants to join from Litchfield or from another town, if we're not full, it's the same price.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Right. We are doing a lot of collaboration with Warren and Goshen, just to kind of follow through with our schooling all being together and the kids being together in that way. Our recreation departments are now doing a lot collaboratively too, which is a great cost savings, I think, to our town. As the kids get to see one another more often at social events, because they're all going to be together once they go, up to the big house, as I say. So it's been working out really nicely that way too.
Okay.
So the programming in one of these kind of charts was $10,000, and you made $6,800. But it says that we made 10,000, and then Nancy added another 15,000. And when I asked her about it the last time she worked, when she was retiring, she said that these were misprints, but they've gone back into the budget. Shouldn't would there be a way, because the maintenance is now run by the town highway department, correct?
Do you mean the lawn care?
The lawn care.
Yeah. Yep. Lawn care that's correct.
But the other day they were cleaning the beach.
Well,
Couldn't we have?
Before they could mow the lawn, they would have to pick the trash up off the grass.
No, but this is on the beach.
I'm sorry, when I said beach, I didn't necessarily mean the sand, I guess. I meant beach, I mean the whole
Right.
area.
No, but I saw them. They were cleaning the beach. Could we not, and I don't know if this was overtime, because I think, I didn't look at my watch, but I think it was 2:30. So wouldn't it be cheaper to get somebody to be cleaning the beach that isn't a highway department person and that has to sometimes do this after hours, so we're paying them time and a half?
Kristen, if I may, they haven't cleaned the beach this year. What they've been doing down there is removing the brush that we've been wanting to get moved out of there for about 5 years now. So the brush has been removed, and they're going to clean up that area. And
Okay, so now the difference between reimbursement and the $10,000 and there was another one, I don't know if she put it in, $15,000. We're losing money. It isn't, you're not bringing in $10,000 to reimburse for the maintenance, right?
Well, you mean I'm expected to bring in $10,000 for my programming to cover maintenance? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think it's programming to cover programming, Carrie.
Okay. So, yeah, I hear your question now. I understand what you're trying to say. So if I can go back to, you don't have to really go back, Chris, but I mean, if I can just bring your thoughts back to that PowerPoint presentation, whereas not all of our programming that we offer the community is fee-based to our taxpayers. A lot of these programs are offered to our community free of charge, but there is some expense involved to do that. So such, for example, the Halloween event, the Easter celebration, the movie nights, all of those things are what we offer our community.
But we're still, as taxpayers, we're paying for this.
Right, of course.
Yes,
Because
you
there's
are. We are.
services provided to you as a taxpayer, right? Correct.
So my question is going to be, being that the town beach is part of town property, why is it that the Beach and Rec or the Morris taxpayers have to pay to have somebody come in and mow the lawn and so on and so forth, when that should all be fixed into what the town crew does, like it does in a lot of other towns.
Tom, do you want to? Well,
We used to pay over $20,000 a year to have the place mowed and have the turf management done. We thought that that was a little excessive, seeing we had 4 guys in the highway department. So we purchased a mower and a trailer to mow the fields in the area around the pavilion and the beach, or the sitting area underneath the trees. That's what the highway department does. They go down there, they'll mow the area, they'll pick up some of the stuff if it's in the way. They help with the tables and the benches and things like that. And they also trim the trees. They trim the brush. They will bring in sand when we need sand. They'll York rake the beach.
But that's all
That's
town
what,
property, Tom. I mean, it's
of course,
town property.
We have town employees working on town property.
But I mean, there's got to be days when these guys, and I'm not being sarcastic, and you can take it however you want to take it. You know, they're a little lax on what they have to do. So, okay, it's a Monday, we're going to go in and we're going to mow the town beach, or it's a Thursday, or whatever the case may be. I mean, you know, these guys aren't working out on the road crew every day of the week doing something. I mean, there's got to be some kill time in there.
So what are you looking for them to do then?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, how come the Beach and Rec or the taxpayers of Morris are having to pay the town crew to go in and mow the town beach?
They're not paying them out of this budget to mow the property.
We're not. Yeah, we're not. They're just getting the regular salaries, and they do that
Yeah.
as part of their job.
part of their responsibility, right? Yeah.
Right, the turf maintenance that you're looking at, that is, that's been like seeding the fields, correct?
Well,
Lisa,
that's taken
jump in.
care, I'm sorry. Yeah,
What did I
that's taking care of the application of any pesticides and fertilizer. You need to be licensed to do this. You can't just
I know that.
hire off the town crew to do this type of work. You need to be licensed.
I
Like,
realize
this is
that.
maybe where the confusion is coming in. Turf maintenance isn't mowing and trimming. You know, turf
Yeah.
maintenance is what Tom just,
Right.
you know, attested to. I guess that's, I can
Well,
see how
then
that could be confusing.
Yeah, well, it is a little confusing because, yeah, when you look at it and it says turf maintenance, yeah,
Sure.
that's what I'm thinking.
Well, that's why I'm just trying to make sure everybody's on the same page by going through and I mean, I know that we used to hire out for mowing, but I don't think,
Right.
but maybe, you know, 2 other people might know that. So that's why if you look at their budget worksheet, the turf maintenance, right under there is a mowing and trimming. That's what Tom was talking about, that we used to hire out to do. And then we turned it over to the highway department, and that's what their job is to do now.
Okay.
Maintenance is building maintenance, and anybody from Beach or Rec, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm just, you know, again, trying to get everybody, so we're looking and asking on the same thing. So maintenance is building maintenance, correct?
Yes. Well, not necessarily just building maintenance, where you also hydro rake the swim area in front
Okay.
of the beach. That's under maintenance to that whole, you know, acreage, I guess, so to speak. Any improvements that we need to make?
So those would be improvements, building, beach, or whatever, that the town crew wouldn't be able to make or normally make in the course of mowing and doing that stuff. Okay.
Correct.
And then turf maintenance, we went over that. That is the hydro seeding, and that's the fields. And
Yeah, you'll see that in my budget explanation. It's a little, maybe if you have that there, it's a little clearer description wise.
I don't think we do. That's why I'm just.
No, okay. Well,
I
under
do know, not to jump around too much, and I hope everybody know it, just so everybody understands what line item is what, and how they break down. But one thing I see, and it's on the income sheet, and I think that's a housekeeping issue that we have to address, we have to figure it out, is on the income sheet, I see what Carrie's talking about. It's the program, reimbursement program and miscellaneous, and that goes back to the Beach and Rec program account, where there is a budget, $15,000, then there's no actual the next year. 2019-20 has budget 1,500, and there's no budget figure in for this year. And maybe Kristen and Lisa, you can answer that. Maybe we can just get an idea, because right now it's just zero. And what's before it, whatever was done, there is no real anything before it that we go from 15,000 to 1,500. So the numbers aren't something you can really look at and get some history there. So do you?
I don't know what report you're looking at. I don't know that if I have that here.
The income report, and that would go to your probably what your program worksheet was.
Yes.
So looking at your worksheet, what would you anticipate your program income to be? I know you do some programs, obviously on the worksheet, you do them as, you know, community situations and stuff. But the program line item, part of it is that it does have that income side of it. On our budget, on the income side, there's no number in there.
Okay.
So to make a determination, that's what Carrie's, correct me if I'm wrong, Carrie, but that's where you're seeing 15,000 and then 1,500. So there's obviously.
I have a statement of actual revenue and estimated revenue report. I don't know if maybe I can reference that where.
Let's look at that just to get some basis on this, because the estimated revenue, if you look at it, and it's down a little bit, Chris, we don't have anything really to go on. So
according to this report that I received from Nancy in the middle of April, my year-to-date revenue for programming was $3,543.
Okay.
And then there's also rental of the Morristown Beach Pavilion.
That does have a separate line item, Christine.
It is.
Yeah, that one is separate. And again, this is programs one-to-one. And that's what I think we're trying to make an assessment on.
$3,500.
Okay. What do you, I won't hold you to it, either you or Lisa. If we weren't in the situation we are, because we know that's going to mess with everybody, but with your added programs, what would you think you could safely guesstimate revenue for those programs?
For the remainder of this year, or?
No, going into next year, let's pretend we didn't have a virus going on and you got plans, Beach and Rec Commission has plans for the adult exercise of the yoga and all that stuff.
I mean, I would
get an estimate on an income on that.
I would
ballpark it.
You know, I would estimate I would probably be at 60-40. That's my guess.
Yep, I get you.
Okay.
It just, there's nothing in the line item, so we're, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
I think that's where people are just going, huh?
Okay.
Get 10,000 out here and nothing here, and what are you doing?
Yeah, I wish we could offer everything for free, but I know that's not feasible or fiscally responsible.
No.
But that would be nice.
Okay, I'm sorry, you cut out. What was that number?
Our year-to-date revenue for programming, is that what you're looking for?
No, the guesstimate for next year.
40. I'd pull in, you know, 60%.
Okay.
I think that sounds about right, Kristen.
I mean, I do. I really.
I think that's normally kind of, I mean, that's pretty much what we're doing now, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm proud of the programming that we offer the community. I really am. I like that we can offer so many different kind of varied things for families. We're not just entirely sports related. We have a lot of community events to bring people together, a lot of things for the entire family to enjoy together. And I think especially nowadays, it's just really important to offer that.
Chris, could I have you go back to the income side of this budget?
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, what about the income side?
I just want to put that number in, because it is blank. So down there in there, you're on the bottom part of it, and it's like halfway in. So keep going down, down, maybe up. It's under 430. It's a 445. There you go. And if you put in 6,000. Okay. That clarifies that. And I know we don't have crystal balls, but it does help to get a basis on it. All right, back to the board. Does that help looking at the budget and the income side of it?
That
Understand what goes with what?
that 6,000 looks like what has been coming in for the last 2 years, but it's there that it's 10,000. So now that we have the 6,000, that helps a lot.
Right. So basically what we're looking at doing, just based on these numbers, is saying, okay, the town, based on the request for 10,000, the town would put $10,000 of taxpayer money into programs. Knowing right there, they're being upfront and saying, we're not charging for everything, and we know some of them are not, we're not gonna bring in your $10,000, but the overall program, what they're asking for in a budget is to say, look at the overall and what it brings to the community, and it brings 6,000. So it's really, so you're looking to spend as a town 4,000
4,000, right.
for the programs.
Right, yeah.
That's the best way I can just explain it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
It's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We're asking the town to invest in us, give us $4,000 to spend on the people of Morris for the fun things that we do.
Yes. And that's
And
that's what's before
Tracy,
the
I know that you know, but I don't know if the other members know that our Beach and Rec Commission has done an entire 360. We have, I mean, I don't know if you all go to some of the stuff, but we do. But we do a lot of events, and Kristen has done a phenomenal job as far as turning this department around. And not to pat myself on the back, but I've been right there helping her and pushing her and working together with her, and as well as our board. We really put a lot of effort in. So we really do appreciate what the board gives us, because we really try to do our very best with what we get.
Mhm.
We
Yes,
use
Lisa,
it
we
to
go
our,
way back together, don't we? Remember the
Yeah.
bad old days?
So really, you're not looking for $10,000.
Right.
well, we want you to
Right.
give us $10,000 in the budget, and most likely we're going to give you back 6,000. So really, we're asking you to give us 4.
But you're asking us to give you $45,300. So it's not just that amount. And
No,
so I just want to keep on repeating that we're in a financial situation. If this was the real world, we would be looking to cut so we can help the people of the town. I mean, Christmas and all of that, I understand. And some people can't afford it. But now there's going to be many more people. Is there anywhere that we could cut this budget to help out the people of the town? Because I'm assuming, looking at the future, we are going to be way down on our revenue. So if we don't have the money, I think it would be better to look at this now instead of looking at when we have no more money.
Okay.
well,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do hear what you're saying, but I've been in politics and Morris for most of my life, and I mean that comes up every year. And I get this year is a big deal with the pandemic. It's probably something. Well, it is something we've never seen before. But every year this happens, and we don't ever have the money. We never do, and we always think that we're never going to have enough money next year, but it always works out.
Yeah, but this is a very, very, very different thing. So I am just asking, I have a hard time wrapping my head around $5,000 for a concerts when we're definitely getting closed in May. So you won't have the Memorial Weekend. And we don't even know, because the governor has said whatever New York does, we do. At this point, New York isn't opening till the end of the school year on the 23rd of June.
I 100% agree with you. So, yeah, but here's the problem. What happens is, if we say to you now, we don't need that money this year because we know we're not going to have a concert in May, we're probably not going to have the party. We're not going to have these things. And then you cut it. And then next year, when things get back to normal, you're not going to want to give it back because that's what happens. That's what always happens.
Plus,
Yeah,
part of the problem is that you're not looking at this year, you're not looking
Yeah.
at this May. You're looking at a year from May.
I
You're looking at this
understand.
budget. So when, if you'll excuse me, so when you're looking at this budget, it's starting July 1st. Don't think about this May, and don't think about June. You're talking.
I understand, Tom. I'm looking at the future.
Please, we can't
We-
talk over each other the entire night. So what I think is, as we get out of what we're in here, this pandemic, I think people are going to be looking for these programs. They're going to be looking for a nice concert in the park where they can spread out and have some, good time. So if you want to take that away from the people when they really need it, I don't think it's the right thing to do. Plus, there'll be time for public comment on this budget. If people feel they don't want recreation, they'll make their thoughts known.
If they have a choice of being able to pay their taxes, or yes, I agree about having a public space when we get out of this, but if we don't have the money, it would be, everyone would look at you as the hero if we cut our mill rate.
Well, and Carrie, again, the people have plenty of time to voice their comments on this budget. I'm sure Tracy will set up or will use the Board of Finance email. They can send in all their comments. There'll be adequate time for this.
Yeah. I would just say that the amount of money that you're talking about is pretty slight.
I think, do we have any more questions? I don't want to keep these girls here longer because we're going to have deeper budget discussions, I'm sure, about the whole thing. Is there any more questions for Kristen or Lisa?
I have a
Or
question.
let them get on with their.
I have a question on maintenance. Is there any large projects that you plan on doing with this maintenance money, or is it the norm for this line item?
Well, we have to paint, well, Kristen, what are we doing? We need to put some screens in the lower cabin. Right? Is that something we're working on?
Are you hydro raking this year, Lisa?
I believe it's, so I think it's an ongoing thing.
Okay.
I'd have to confirm that with Tom, but every year we have like I don't know, 2 or 3 year contract, and then I think we renew it. But I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head.
They are installing a swim area at the beach. There's no capital costs for that, for the material for that. It's cleaning and maintenance of the septic system.
Oh yeah, I forget about that one.
Equipment. They're looking to hopefully get stairs so people can walk from the lower field to the upper field. It's been a huge problem for people, even younger people. I mean, it's a steep climb. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done to continue to make that a beautiful place.
Okay, great, thanks.
And we're doing that all in the maintenance budget, so we don't have capital on that. You feel that
We're trying to, and what we can't, and that's and what we can't, we'll try to fund with what we are doing our fundraising for.
I'll take
if that makes sense. I mean, that's
take that.
That's what we try to come up with the big things that we can do, so we don't have to ask the town for a lot of these things. But the other thing is, when we fundraise for things, we have to kind of say this is what we're fundraising for.
Right, definitely. I know that the library's been doing the fundraising, and they say what they're.
Yeah, you have to say this is what we're fundraising for. The
Absolutely.
kitchen, the whatever, whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I spoke to somebody today who has non-for-profit places, and there's no way of fundraising now. And
it's hard. Not right now. It's difficult. Yeah.
So again, that should reflect in our budget, because if people can't pay their taxes and they see that we're funding concerts, it's going to hurt.
Well, I think that again is a discussion the board needs to have. What I'm asking is if we can let Kristen and Lisa.
We got to go through the senior center budget before we can let Kristen go.
Okay,
She's
sorry.
gone.
Try.
Trying to connect.
Shit. She unplugged.
Right. Who's swearing on the board? And I guess, this is something that while we're waiting for Kristen to come back, because she's the one that has to do it. Overall, we have to look at this stuff as far as,
Well, let's discuss it.
I know what Lisa's saying, and I know what will happen. I guarantee what will happen. She's absolutely right. As soon as you take away this board, whoever's sitting here next year is never giving it back. Do we plan, and my feeling is, because we don't know what's going to happen. Some of the big questions I have is the tax deferment, where some of the towns are saying you don't pay taxes till October. That's a cash flow problem.
Exactly.
That we might want to look at as to what we fund and how we fund it. I don't think this is the place to plan for Armageddon. There are remedies for Armageddon. I've actually lived through Armageddon. There are remedies for it along the way. If we find that midway through the year, we're expecting to collect 80% of our taxes and things are that bad, I also think you're going to find the state and the country in that sort of position. And the government, for better or worse, has been fairly quick by government standards to respond to it. So
Did you
my
hear what
feeling
McConnell-
is I'm not into spending a lot of money. I definitely want to see the mill rate cut. I think we can trim some things here and there, but I don't know if I want to put a budget together for Armageddon. And I'll certainly, anybody that wants to add their 2 cents is welcome to. While we're waiting for.
Well, let's
Kristen's,
let's start at the top and let's start going through the line items.
There's a warning here on fastener number 5. Don't torque that thing down too hard.
Okay.
You won't have any.
Adam, turn us on a minute.
Summer salary. It was at 4. They spent 43. They're asking for 45.
Hold on.
45, 43. Yay, nay.
I didn't hear your question.
Okay. Summer salaries.
Somebody turn their TV off.
Yeah, I got it. I muted it. It's Lisa Harris.
Summer salaries,
It's my
Okay,
husband.
summer salaries.
fine.
Fine.
Can you just turn it off?
All right, who has the TV on?
I got her muted. It's cool.
Okay. All right, summer salaries. They asked for, we gave them 4 last year. It spent 43. They're asking for 45.
Let's go.
Now-
That's what they spent. They shouldn't spend any more.
And what does that make? So it was 20, you calculated 27 hours.
27 hours a weekend.
Now, there were certain, I would go by regularly on my motorcycle because it's a pretty ride and I wanted to check out what was going on at the beach. So I go around, there were days there was nobody there. And then I went to Mont Tom and they're packed.
Well, they're not doing, they're only doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I know, and the same thing, but on the weekends when I go by, and there were rainy weekends, there were quite a few rainy weekends. And so are we paying people to sit there when there's nobody at the beach?
Yes.
I think yes. I think
No, we're not.
No.
If there's if the gate guard is not able to fulfill their obligation of working at the beach, they are not getting paid. No.
Okay, so this $4,500, they didn't work every weekend, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
There were occasional portions of shifts when they were not working because of the weather change. Yes.
And what are they making? It's very hard to tell. How much are they making per hour?
$15.
They're making $15 per hour, and we spend $4,500 for 27 hours a week.
we spent $4,300.
Okay. But couldn't they do more than just look
They
At the,
are picking up trash at the beach.
oh, okay.
They do that at the beginning and end of their shift. And then I might also mention, it's not really polite conversation, but we did have quite a Canadian goose problem at the beach this summer. So those gate guards were charged with removing all the feces from the geese at the beginning and end of their
From the
shift.
beach.
as
Was
well.
that combat pay? Geese are nasty.
Yeah, it was very, I mean, it was a very unpleasant job, and wasn't a pleasant thing for me to ask them to do either, but I just could not leave the geese poop on the beach like that. It's disgusting.
And how about cleaning the
So
bathroom?
they also, if I may say too, they also, whenever we have our summer concert series, those are always on Friday nights. So whomever is working that Friday evening, they're in charge of helping us set up for that summer concert. We set up for the food trucks that come. We set aside the handicap parking spaces for our guests that arrive. We put signs up around advertising the event, help coordinate with the band and unload their things or whatever. So those are some of the additional responsibilities that the gate guards have.
Do they clean the bathrooms?
They do not clean the bathroom. No, I have a professional cleaning service to clean the bathroom.
We have Kristen back. Can we hop over to the senior budget? Again, I think some of these things we
Yeah.
could discuss.
We're done with Beach and Rec?
Well, I think we're gonna go back to it.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean,
I
like,
just don't know if you guys want to stay here all night and go over it. And I know we have a lot to go through, and
I'm happy to move on to senior center, happy.
I'd like to at least get the board familiar with the senior center
Okay, sure.
line
I'm
item.
gonna sign out then. Thank you.
Bye, Lisa.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, guys.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna skip right to the hourly employees. Excuse me, I have
Yeah.
one assistant here at the senior center. That assistant position is an assistant not only under my senior center obligation, but also under my Beach and Rec obligation. So in running those two departments that I do, I have one assistant to help me run these two departments. And that position currently is a 12-hour-a-week position. And that position currently pays 10-something an hour.
Which reminds me, we went around about this last year, and just an FYI, the board, I know the contract was signed. I know there will be, at some point in time or whatever, they'll be the transfers into the adjusted salaries. We made the decision last year not to do the raises across the board because of that was the way we went. And I remember having this major discussion with the board about this poor guy, and I don't want him forgotten in this whole thing, as you were.
All right, thanks, Tracy. And it's not even just, obviously I have great value for my current assistant that believe me, I truly do. It's the position itself that I'm trying to get funded somewhat properly. I mean, we all know that the minimum wage is heading towards $15. So I tried to offer something a little more palatable. I didn't go all the way to 15. I'm simply asking for $14 an hour, which is more in line with what some of the other assistant positions are being paid right now in the town hall, such as in the library. So I'm also, in addition to that, asking for his hours to be increased from 12 just to 14, just to give him, 2 more hours a week in this office to assist me, with all the programming that we offer on both ends. So I'm really hoping you would consider that for me.
But let's say we don't have any programs to do till at earliest July.
Are we planning for Armageddon again?
Yes, we are. That's all
Okay.
I think. I'm a Debbie Downer. Debbie Downer, and I could go into a tirade, which I won't
But
do.
we don't know what's gonna happen, Carrie.
But
We
I do
don't
have to say
know.
though, if we don't have any programming until July 1, that's when this budget is effective, July 1. So we'll be right in line.
Yeah, but you're going to have leftover from last year.
No, there's no leftover in the budget. It's all gone.
don't
Use
have
it
that- I
in
don't
the
have
municipal budget.
I have no access to that leftover. If I
Okay.
don't,
Y'all get
This is
that, right? When the
This
year
is
ends,
used
the
or legit,
budget's
right?
zero out.
Yeah. I forgot.
Okay. No, just,
But I do have a question,
Hold on, guys.
and this is a little bit difficult, but Joanne Jack tried to get in touch with you, and I tried to get in touch with you 3 times, 2 times with the assistant before, and once with, and I was asking for numbers because that was my job, to put together numbers and questions for the senior center, the beach and rec, and the garbage dump, whatever you call it, for collect.
Transfer station.
Yeah, transfer station. And no one ever got back to me, and Joanne Jack was trying to put together the booklet, and no one got back to her. We don't have a booklet because we didn't get everybody's numbers. Did your assistant tell you, or did they not tell you? Because giving a person a raise, not because of what's going on around, but of what kind of a job they're doing.
Do you know when these phone calls were made?
I have them somewhere. I made them 3 times, and they said you couldn't talk, but they would give you the message. And I never got a call back, and Joanne Jack never got a call back either.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I can't say that I've received those messages. I'm not really, yeah, I can't attest to that without knowing when the time frame was. I don't know who my assistant was at the time.
You had the woman for 2 of my calls,
Sure.
and a man for the other one.
Okay.
And Joanne Jack called right away after we decided she was going to do a booklet for us, because it hasn't been done. And when did Tracy, do you remember when we did that?
I don't, Carrie. I don't.
Yeah, so we could find out. And Joanne Jack, we
It's been
would
a while.
know the weeks.
I have seen Joanne Jack socially, and she never mentioned that to me.
I don't know.
Well, she
Um,
mentioned at the meetings.
I'd love to get back to the budget. Can we, please?
Sure.
Through. If you could just run down that for.
I'd be happy to.
Thank
So
you.
the majority of this budget, very similar. My battery died on my laptop, so that's why I had to skip out for a little bit prior to. But it's very similar to the beach and rec budget. The majority of the senior center budget really is based around building maintenance and the care of this property that the building is based on. So that going forward, you know, our cleaning service, we have the senior center cleaned once per week. And that is just the standard rate. Carmine Migion with A Bright Cleaning takes care of a lot of the town properties. He just has not been raising his prices, and we're extremely satisfied with the work that he does. My cell phone, you know, utility bills, internet, electricity, heat, those are all pretty standard, I would assume. My interior maintenance, again, just the care of this building and maintenance of the building. Just air conditioner maintenance, carpet cleaning, window washing, furnace maintenance on a yearly basis, things of that nature.
Have
So
the fees increased on that from the vendors that are providing these services? I mean, it's a
not
$1,200 increase.
with regard to what, some of the utilities?
With the interior maintenance. It's a $1,200 increase. I mean, has the outside services?
Sorry, I
increased?
thought that, yeah, I don't know what, I thought that everyone got my budget explanation, but I do submit an explanation for each individual line item and what the breakdown is of my request. So for that interior maintenance line item, it is biannual carpet cleaning, floor stripping. There are a couple of rooms in this building that are linoleum floors, the care of those floors, and window washing, as I mentioned. The air conditioning maintenance, and then the furnace cleaning. And then also we're having the building is about 30 years old, so we're having some issues with some of the exterior hardware and doors. We've been slowly replacing the exterior doors because of rust and malalignment. And now the exterior hardware is starting to fall into disrepair. So I did add in that line item $1,200 for the repair of some of the external hardware. One of my front doors in the senior center does not have a door handle on it. There's only one door that you can get into the senior center with, because the other door handle just fell off. It rotted out. So that's what the extra $1,200 is for in that line item.
Okay, great, thanks.
And then programming, that's really the only basic line item that isn't related to the building itself. So I always ask for $7,000. I've been asking for $7,000 for years. I would love to do more for my seniors than I'm doing. My heart is really in this place and in this job. As Phil knows, he hired me 16 years ago. I love this job, and I would love just to do more for my seniors. I never seem to get the $7,000 that I asked for, and that's okay. I can manage with the 6. That's what I've been using for so many years, but I'm going to keep trying until one day I get my wish.
Why don't we use some of the LoCIP money? Is that separate from the town that you're a senior center?
I think that's a Tom question. I'm not familiar with
LoCIP for what?
LoCIP for the repairs because it's illegal to only have one entrance in a public space. So we really need to make.
There are other entrances. It's just the main entry door has one handle that is missing, but there are three other actually entrances to the building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's our main entry door. Yeah.
So I guess the question that Carrie's asking is if we gotten to the point with the maintenance that we should look at doing a LoCIP project. And that is a Tom question.
Yeah.
The LoCIP won't cover maintenance.
But it covers repairs, right?
Depends on what you're talking, are replacing a ceiling? Yeah, if you put up a new ceiling, yes.
Well, you put in a new door in the town hall and she has a problem with her door. She just wants to get that done.
The hardware?
The whole door, she said it was didn't you say it was rusting, or was that something else that was rusting?
No, we have been periodically changing the doors as we go. Right.
Do you need, like, is it to the point where you need a new door now, or is it just?
It's a hardware issue right now. That's the most pressing.
All right. Well, again, I guess the question on the table is, and it's just something to think about down the road, is that building, which is, been there a minute, are there things that are getting to the point of LoCIP and capital improvements?
Well, I think it's really come to maintenance. The company that built that place, I don't think really did a real quality job, but it has withstood the 30 years and work has been done on it over those 30 years. And I think Kristen has been very proactive on trying to keep up with that. Last year you did the trim painting on the outside.
Right.
We replaced a couple doors with hardware. We're just looking to continue that maintenance of the building. So that's why you're looking at that hardware. I think will cover for 2 doors, I believe.
Correct. That's correct.
It's commercial hardware. It's not cheap.
It's ridiculously expensive. It makes no sense.
Okay, so going down,
Yeah.
So in the
down through it, is
first,
there anything else?
Snow removal, trash removal.
I mean, everything else is kind of, it looks to be not so much in your control on these line items. I know there's little in the senior budget that is sort of in your control. Snow removal, trash removal, you got exterior maintenance and repair, and that's 3. It was higher last year, it was lower the year before. Nutritional program, a little bit up, pretty flat. The office supplies is flat all the way across. Printing is flat.
Yep.
And trips reimbursable. Well, that's one of those. Looks like you go for the 400.
Yeah.
We give you the 2.
Right. Right. That's exactly it.
All right.
Question, the 6th item up from the bottom, is that supposed to be postage?
Yes.
Okay.
That is, we have a bi-monthly newsletter that I write and mail out 6 times a year from the senior center. It's just, it goes out to our newsletter, people that have signed up to register to receive our newsletter through the mail. And the newsletter, just talks about all the special events we have going on, any programming or whatever. Just keep, I think, as digital as we all are, I find that my seniors really just go for the piece of paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the telephone line item, it's increased by $480. Is there some specific reason for that?
We are going to be reimbursing a portion of my cell phone use. I have a personal cell phone that I use on a daily basis for my job. I've been doing that for years, and I just finally decided it was time to ask the town to help supplement the cost of that, because I don't have a town cell phone available to me.
I mean, that's her means of communication when they go on these trips down to New York City or wherever, and she's using her personal cell phone for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions for Kristen on this particular budget?
All right, thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time, guys. I appreciate your energy and your effort. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Chris.
much for coming in. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
All right, you want to start with the senior center budget or the beach and rec?
Senior center's easier. Let's start here.
All right.
I don't know if this is, again, I'm going to be a Debbie Downer, but other towns and the governor approved to keep even union people at a flat rate. So that was in the newspaper last week.
Which unions?
They said
We're getting
the,
5.5% increases under this whole thing.
excuse me?
Some unions in the state are getting 5.5% increase. They didn't.
Yeah, but now he's, yeah, right. And he
He hasn't
said,
cut 'em.
and he said because the state of Connecticut is down by $220 billion on the pension funds and the package deals, and Texas has $100 billion in surplus to pay for this. If we don't have the money,
We don't have the money. We go to Plan B. I mean, like I said, I guess I want everybody's opinion on this is, do we build the budget for Armageddon or do we respond to Armageddon if it does come to fruition?
Guys, you know what? I want to move forward on this budget tonight. It's almost 8:40. We've accomplished zero on this budget. If we don't get through these two departments tonight and their line items, no one's going to remember next week what we discussed. I suggest that we start working down the line items, and if we have a disagreement in what the price should be or what number we should put in, we can vote on that particular line item. But please, let's try to get through the senior center and beach and rec tonight so we can accomplish something.
I agree. I'd like to do that. We'll do it by vote. Okay.
So let's start at the top. This line item here for the hourly employee.
Well,
Proposed or last year? Last year's figure.
that's where we should stay.
I'd vote
Vote
to go to
last year.
15
I
an
vote
hour.
last. Anyone else?
I vote last year.
I vote go up. $13 an hour. I'm not returning your phone calls either. I mean, like you said, minimum wage is going to be 15. We
You're
went over
chasing
this
minimum
last
wage.
year.
Yeah, I'll vote to go up.
All right, we
Christine,
got two ups. Christine,
I vote to go up.
David.
Go up.
okay,
Okay.
so I'm not sure what the hours are, but could you put a note in there that that's going to be $15 an hour?
No, it's 13. The note's there.
13 at 12.
We just voted to go up, did we not?
Yeah, up to the
What-
new figure versus the previous year.
She was paying, they were paying her.
I don't care. What I was intending to say, because we didn't do anything last year, he's at 13. I proposed to pay at 15. That it was that's what I was talking about. So
Okay, let's take it to another vote. Do we want to go up from the 74.88 or do we want to keep it at the 74.88 proposed?
up.
Down.
Up.
Down.
Dave?
Up.
Christine?
I don't think 15 is gonna be the number. I mean, we was going from 12 last year to 13. Nobody in this world is getting a dollar increase for this year.
Yeah, and we're giving all these increases.
All right, Adele's a deal breaker. Make your choice, Adele.
I think she's gone.
He's
All
not-
right, we'll table this one the next week. Moving on. Stalemate.
Everything else to me seems,
Could you highlight that so we know to come back to it? Because I'm not gonna let it go. And I do have a memory. $13 an hour.
Anyone know what minimum will be? The next jump?
There,
It's up
there's
in the
talk
air.
about freezing the minimum now.
Oh, is it?
Who's talking about freezing the minimum?
The governor.
Governor,
We're also having employees getting $2 an hour raises to keep them working. So, I mean, we're all over the board with this.
Okay, how about senior center cleaning? We're up $120.
It is what it is.
Good.
Telephone, leave it as is.
Yep.
Yep. I'm fine with that.
Anyone take any, let's look at all the items. Anybody take issue with any of the items we're proposing for the 96,000 now, other than the hourly employees?
I do not.
No.
Programs. And I'm just gonna bring it out because everybody's gonna overlook it until they look at it again.
Programs.
Kristen's right. We give them 6, they ask for 7. I'm
If she's going to
myself on
expand her
that. I can see
programming,
what-
we should give it to her.
Huh?
But if she's going to expand her programming, and some of that will be reimbursed or not, she's expanding, so we should give it
This
to her.
is senior center. And I
Yeah.
don't know if there's,
I don't know if there's reimbursement or not, but even still, she's expanding her programming.
okay. All right. Good argument. I like it.
if we go, if we're negative, if we go in the red and we don't have the money because her programs are not doing $10,000 a year, we're already down 4,000. So let's see if this works. She might not be able to open.
That was Beach and Rec.
That was Beach and
That's not
Rec.
senior
Oh,
center.
right. But the senior center, nobody is allowed in. Even when somebody is sick, a family member can't go in. So they're not going to, if the city doesn't open, if the town doesn't open,
We got bigger problems.
right, again.
But if they don't
I don't
spend
know.
it,
I
they
don't
don't
want to
get
plan
it.
for Armageddon. I want to respond to it because if we plan for Armageddon, you're going to close the senior center, you're going to close the Beach and Rec, you're going to close the library and close the transfer station. It's really about 20% of our entire budget. It's so tiny.
You're right.
So I got to point this out that this part of our budget, it looks like big numbers. It's a tiny fraction. The school is almost
Guys, too much
70% of the budget.
6,000 or 7,000. Let's get it to a head right now.
I say freeze everything, so that's my,
Sorry, at 6,000. Who wants 7?
I'll go 7.
I'll go 7.
I'll go 7.
7s have it.
Where's Dave?
7.
There you
7s have it. Any other issues with this budget we want to address right now?
No.
no,
Beach and Rec.
I'm getting there. We're there. Everyone see it?
Yeah.
All right.
In the interest of exhaustion, let's pretend the beaches are going to be open. They got 4,000 last year. They spent 43.
Let's give them 43.
Okay.
Now, didn't she say the cleaning was down because of all this stuff? Didn't she say
Yep.
she got cleaning done for
Yeah.
7?
I think we could definitely maybe get a little creative there and shave some of that. because the numbers last year bore out, might be a nice place to pick up a little. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen this year, but everybody in agreement on that?
Yes.
Okay. Telephone, electric, supplies, maintenance, turf maintenance,
How
travel.
about travel? We gave her 250 last year. I think that's reasonable.
Yep. I agree.
No objection.
No objection.
Okay, let's talk about programming.
Programming. Oh, tough one. Thoughts on programming?
Well, they're getting
Again,
10,000 and they're getting 5,000 for concerts. They're really getting 15,000.
Right. Yes.
We go down to 8 on the programming and leave 5 for the concerts. I think that's a happy median. Plus, we're giving them the extra 1,000 for the senior center so they can coordinate some joint programming ventures. We're really not taking 2, we're only taking 1.
I like that.
I like that because they didn't achieve it last year and we don't know what's gonna happen this year, but it does give them some
I'll go
stuff
along
to
with
work and improve their program, so.
Any objections?
Nope.
No.
No.
Nope.
See that, guys? In 10 minutes, we accomplished 2 budgets instead of everybody chatting about what our personal opinions are. It worked out much better. Let's try it with another budget. Or do you want to go back and talk about the finance clerk now?
The what?
The finance clerk.
Oh,
Or do we want to go to another budget and process the same logic we've been using?
you make the executive decision, chief.
The executive decision is we're moving to another
Do we
budget.
have capital?
I believe we do have capital.
Do we have a capital sheet? I wanna see
We
the
do.
capital.
We're gonna have the committee that put together the budget come in, hopefully maybe next week for you.
For
Okay.
capital?
Yeah, with
I got the
that,
Okay, all right.
well, you can look at it, of course, but you know.
I got the library on next week's agenda. If they want to get on, Tom, I just need what they want so we can provide it in advance.
You got it up there.
Okay. What are we looking at bottom line for capital this year?
Negative.
No, I mean for requestings.
1.2715 million.
Okay, back in a land called reality.
I don't know where you're getting that number from.
Right here on the bottom.
Right on the bottom.
For this year, it should be 125,000, what? 125,000 for engine 5 to be put away. 70,000 to put away for the 2001 International Dump Truck. 50,000 to be put away for the culvert replacement at East Shore Road. 25,000 put away for municipal building capital maintenance, which might come in handy down at the senior center. But for large items. Fire pond dredging, 10,000. And the transfer wall replacement to be put away is 50,000, adds up to 280,000. But
We don't
again,
have the current one.
we're gonna have
Yeah, I don't think I got the correct one.
we're gonna have the capital non-recurring committee come in, hopefully for next week, if that's okay.
Oh, here it is. This is the right one.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Just saying. So capital projects, I mean, just to go over, I know we're gonna go over it next week, but we're looking at actual doing would be fire pond.
We're already doing one this year. This is planning for the future. This is what we need to put away every year, which has to be voted on in order for it to be put away each year.
Right. But I'm talking about what,
2021 is the capital budget. Any of those projects would not be done in this next fiscal year. maybe a fire pond.
And that's what I'm,
Yeah.
there's a method to my madness here, that's all.
We're trying not to spend any money, capital money.
That's my method.
Fiscal year.
Right.
We'd like to put it off if we can, but we do have to plan out for the 15-year plan. And right now we have about 31,000 of undesignated capital and non-recurring money in the budget.
Oops. Okay, but right now, this year, we're not looking at capital projects that need to be done because they tend to become crises.
Right.
Okay.
We are doing the one fire pond out of the current year budget right now.
Okay. All right, I got it.
Tom, you used the term capital non-recurring monies. What does that mean?
This is kind of the budget for the larger items that you generally don't see every year. Large, the equipment, the heavy equipment, the trucks, larger projects that you're not it's not like a maintenance fund.
Okay.
It's more of a project fund. And I did have down there community hall generator, but we took that out. We're going to try to find a different way to fund that. Eldridge generator, we're going to hopefully work with Eldridge on that. That's going to need replacement too. The backhoe, highway backhoe, sadly that broke down yesterday, and we're looking up to a pretty good price tag to get that fixed, but that's why it's in the budget there for to be replaced hopefully by 25, 26.
Okay.
But yeah, it's large purchases.
So it's a large one-time thing, recurring.
It's like a highway truck.
Right.
Should last us at least 20 years, maybe 22, somewhere in there.
Okay.
All right, now we gotta look at capital. Let's shoot back and let's do the town hall. We got Tom here. He can answer our questions. Let's apply the same logic, see if we can cut through that budget. What am I looking for? General government? General government. Yep.
Selectman's salary, are you proposing not to go up on that?
Correct. We had a Board of Selectmen meeting today, and we discussed this budget with all the salaries because we approved the union contract yesterday or Tuesday. And we felt that the non-union employees should see a raise. We did ask the union to forego their raise for next year. They declined that offer. And we're only talking like 4 non-union employees. So it didn't seem fair to punish those employees for, what other employees decide not to do. And the other ones are not getting a raise, like the first selectman, the Board of Selectmen, the treasurer. Well, the treasurer is a different story. The tax collector.
The town clerk would be getting a raise?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
There's an ordinance that pertains to that.
Tom, what's the final on the health insurance?
Final is not final. Had some good news today. We're going to propose the health insurance plan that we are looking at, and hopefully it would save us some money. We're going to propose that to the members that receive health insurance, and if it goes through, then we're going to have a savings.
Can you give us a ballpark best case scenario?
I think it's around 10,000.
10,000 less?
Less, yeah. Oh, yeah.
10,000 down from the 181 or 10,000 down from the 193?
Oh, let's see. We were thinking it was going to be 10,000 from the 181. The 193 is a 7% increase over the current. That's what we would be paying if we stayed where we are.
So it should be 171 in that column.
Well, I would wait until we have a figure instead of plugging something in there, because it may not go through.
Yeah.
Where is the health reimbursement plan? Is that included in your health insurance?
Yes.
So the what did you get it changed in May of this year of the last budget? When did that happen? That you got that new agent?
Oh, I can't remember.
2 years.
It's been 2 years. Okay. So the health savings plan were included in the past budgets before we went to the health reimbursement plans?
It was all under the employee insurance.
Okay. Do you know how much? Because the reimbursement changes every year, but the health saving plan stays the same.
We're in
not
a
SA
reimbursement. It's not a savings.
But
Yes.
it was a
We're talking
savings.
history here. We're talking the next fiscal year.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, the last one, the before that, where was that money?
It was in employee insurance.
We should also
you
go
got
back and health insurance on there instead of, because I passed over it, that it wasn't it wasn't saying what it was. It's employee, it's more than employee insurance. It's less than employee insurance. It's only the healthcare, right?
What else would it be?
But it should be written. Health insurance plan for employees. That was one of the reasons that Scott Parkhurst walked out. So please, can we just, it's just so we can be clear what it is. Okay, no answer as usual. Okay.
You've lost me, Carrie. I'm trying to look at the sheet and find out what the question was, and I apologize, but I'm looking at the screen and my sheet. So
all I'm asking
question is, it says employee insurance.
And that got changed from what it was before, and it went back to what it was when.
What was it before?
It was health benefits for employees, I think. I don't know. I'll go back.
All right, I guess I'm gonna be dumb here, and I'm gonna say I know what it is, but maybe that's because I know what it is.
That's the
but
thing.
Health insurance, employee insurance, employee benefits.
I'm
not sure what the issue is. I'm sorry.
Because insurance can be a lot of things. So,
what other employee insurance are we carrying?
but it doesn't say employee health insurance. I don't care. Again, I don't get answered. My questions don't get answered. Let's skip over this. It's almost 9 o'clock and I'm going to poop out, which I know you would like me to do, but.
Now, I'm sorry, Carrie. I don't know if it's a terminology thing, but I'm not sure why.
It makes a difference?
Yeah. Maybe I just know this stuff and I don't see what somebody new does.
That's right. And I could compare that with making muffins, but I won't do that to not waste your time. It's just when the taxpayers look at this, they're going to look at it and say, employee insurance, what is that?
Do you want to change it to health insurance? Health
Yes,
insurance
please.
benefits?
Exactly.
Can we? Like I said, I apologize. I don't see it, but I know what it is. I've looked at it for 7 years. So if there's ambiguity, I'm not seeing it. And I just, like I said, I've known what the line item is for a long time. Maybe I missed it.
Done. Hey, listen, guys, there's nothing really to argue. If we can get the health insurance at 171,
I'm thrilled.
This total budget gets to 377. That's $12,000 less than last year.
I have a couple questions though.
Yep.
On the Board of Selectmen supplies, there's the $6,500 for the hardware. I'm assuming that's a one-time fee, right?
Correct.
So that number will go down next year.
Yes.
Okay. And
We're hoping to spend less than that too.
Right.
That the payroll
cost on the cost line for the $1,060. I'm sorry, I don't remember what that is.
That's the Council of Small Towns. It's a
Okay.
organization of all the smaller towns. I can't remember exactly the population limit. I don't know if Phil does. If it was 25,000 and less, or
Yeah, I believe so. Tom.
I just didn't remember what it was. And then on the employee training, who's getting trained on what?
we have started, there's getting more mandates for employee training. And we have started doing that with AED, CPR, first aid. We're going to continue with that, keeping all of our employees updated on all that. There's going to be more coming at us. We're getting some mandates from the state for training that's going to be required for every employee. Luckily, the sexual harassment training, we can get that free online. And anytime we have an opportunity to get something free, we're going to take advantage of it.
Okay, great, thanks.
I have a question about the BOS supplies. We went from 2,000 to 6,500.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about, the computer.
Oh, the new computer?
It's payroll software and the hardware.
One time.
Correct.
Oh, I see. Okay. I was plugging in my computer. I didn't hear what you asked. Sorry.
All right, everybody good with this budget?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So we'll only have to come back to make a note on the health insurance. Community hall. Down from last year.
Perfect.
Assessor.
We got to fill in the payroll stuff.
I'm doing it as we're going.
But how about she's now getting health insurance and we're paying 3,700, I think. Is that included in her pay?
No.
So where is that on here?
That big fat health insurance thing. That's why I'm a little confused. That
But-
big number is the health insurance for the town. So
But
we don't have
she
it out on the employees. It's not part of their salary. This is their straight salary. Health insurance was put into a lump sum a number of years ago.
This
So-
is the assessor, Carrie. That's for the tax collector.
Oh, right. This is the assessor. Okay, I'll shut up. I got it. Right.
But health insurance is still health insurance. It covers whoever's on health benefits. It's not split up by person.
But she is a special situation because she is getting paid from 3 towns. So she's
Yeah,
still.
we can get her when we get to that budget. Let's just knock this one out.
Okay.
This one's up almost $1,500. Do we want to trim the mileage and supplies?
Yes.
Can I tell you something? And I know our assessor went through this back at her other position down at Woodbridge. You trim that, and guess what? She doesn't go out. You trim the supplies, well, she doesn't do the work because she doesn't have the supplies. So I don't know where you really want to trim. You're going to find
What
this.
did she spend last year?
It's a very fine, tight budget. So if you want to trim and you go ahead, well, you're going to have less services.
I think it's very important that the assessor has to go out in the field. She has spent a lot of time outside, so she should get a mileage. And I believe she's a very good assessor, and I think we ought to leave this budget alone.
All right, I'm convinced. I'm with Phil. Anyone else?
I think we should leave it alone too.
This is sort of an income position, so I'd leave it alone, yeah.
Moving on. Town clerk. They're up about $1,000 from last year, maybe 1,400.
Where'd they get that extra? Numbers are looking down. How did she get that? Yeah.
Salary.
Salaries.
Oh, God damn it.
They're actually down on some of the stuff. They're actually down on things.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like there's anything for us to cut up here. They're down on all numbers except salary.
Move on.
Good.
I'm good.
EDA is what it is.
Okay.
We've been over this one.
Yep. Anticipated legal.
The legal, so what is that legal thing, that $12,000 for?
Pending suit.
Legal. Oh,
going
sorry.
on.
A lawsuit?
Yep.
Okay.
Treasurer.
$41,000. I'm sorry. That is really crazy.
I thought it was union. Sorry. Hold on.
She's
Let's-
not union salary. She
She's
was
not union.
$15,000 a year and then goes up to 41,000, and she doesn't, as it said in the O'Connor and Davies, she doesn't have a diploma in this.
Yeah, I'm
So-
gonna agree with-
Absolutely does have, and if you're talking about the deputy treasurer, she's more than qualified for this job. Carrie, you better get your facts straight before you start spouting things off like that.
I have my facts straight.
Because they're wrong.
All right, both of you, that's enough. Let's talk about line items, not about people, right? So based on this line item, which got a doubling last year from 17,000 to 36,000, I'm okay at 36,000.
Can you go on to what the note is on the requested?
Let me ask you a
So we
question.
can see what the note says?
Isn't that up to, yeah, you've got me covered up here. You say, is it 46? Or you've got
41.6.
41.6. Wasn't that up to 41.6?
Correct.
Okay, so it's not 41.6 automatic. It's between 36.4 and 41.6, because don't forget, there's still a treasurer to be hired.
Correct.
We have an interim. So we've got some wiggle room. We're not sure. And treasurers are hard to come by, I can tell you.
A good one.
Now we have, who's the deputy treasurer if Nancy is our treasurer?
Nancy is our deputy treasurer.
Yes.
So the treasurer salary, there's nobody in that position at this point.
You are correct.
So Nancy is getting paid $3,000 to do whatever?
What do you mean, whatever?
Well, it says just $3,000. Is that $3,000 for the year? Is that 3,000?
You're
What is,
talking about next year, Carrie, not this year.
well, next year?
That would be, I did explain this last week, but that would be, say the treasurer gets hired, which we will hire a treasurer, goes on vacation. We've been fortunate. Nancy, for over 4 years, did not take real vacations. She took long weekends. So if a treasurer goes on vacation, you need someone in that spot to fill the place, because finances do not stop. Bills have to be paid. Legal documents need to be signed. So you need someone to take that spot. And same thing with the fiscal clerk. If our fiscal clerk goes on vacation, you need someone to fill that spot. It cannot be the treasurer. You need 2 separate sets of eyes on the finances, because you need the separation of duties, which our auditors have been calling for many years. And we went from, I can't remember how many marks we had on our original audits to nothing right now. So we're in very good shape.
It's really simple, guys. Do we stay the same or do we go up? Let's vote.
Can
My
I
vote
explain something
stays
on
the
that,
same.
Chris? Just a little filler. We are in the process of hiring a treasurer. We have a range. It depends on their experience. If we find the right person and we need to pay them, say, the 40 an hour, we're going to pay them 40 an hour. If there's not money there, then they're going to work less hours and not do the work they need to do. So I'm asking for a range here, up to $41,600. It just makes sense. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get spent. No. We're going to do the best we can with the money. We always do. We're not filling someone's pockets here.
All right, you've made your pitch. Let's vote.
I vote to say it this 36,400.
I'm against that. I'm voting against Karen.
Do you want to go to 41.6?
I want to go to 41.6 to give us wiggle room so that we can get somebody proper that will do the proper job for the town of Morris. And the town of Morris deserves an excellent treasurer.
Okay, who else?
I also think the 41.6 is a good option for us.
I say
I'm,
leave it
I'm
and
with
then
you
try and
right
do
now.
your best to get down.
We already had one candidate, very qualified, very good at what that person does in 2 other towns, was looking to come to Morris, but the money's not there at the current rate.
What are the other towns charging?
I believe this person was getting 41 an hour in the other town. We were looking at 40.
Well, I guess going back to where we started, you're talking a 20-hour-a-week position at $40 an hour.
Correct.
And you're saying
Up to.
up to $40 an hour, but you also indicating that they probably work less hours because of the pay that a treasurer commands in the marketplace.
Yeah, they would get paid the same rate, but because of the restrictions on a light item, would work less hours.
So going back to where we started tonight, when I proposed that fiscal clerk too, you said, well, the treasurer is doing more.
Right.
Are they doing more because of the job has changed, or are they doing more because we've changed the job?
The
Because
job is
fiscal clerk, I'm sorry.
the job has definitely changed over the years, quite a bit. And you need someone who has the qualifications and the experience to work in that position.
Tracy, your vote here.
I'm finding a hard pill to swallow for the townspeople to go from 17 to 40 in 2 years. So
Well, you know what
No,
17
You don't have
was.
a spine.
I know what it was. It is what
Well,
it is.
Then you can't really throw 17 in there. Because you had someone working for free, pretty much, for those years.
I
You just
understand
doubled
that.
the salary.
So I don't know what the count was at, Chris. Where were you at?
It's three no's and 2 yeses.
You want to put a note on it and we'll revisit it?
No, I want you to vote and vote no or yes.
I already did.
What'd you vote? Yes?
I voted no. I voted with keeping it at 36.
Then it goes to 36, 4-2.
Again, you'll get less.
We have a fiscal clerk that will take away a bunch of work.
And a deputy treasurer.
Julie.
I have a question about treasurer professional services. What does that mean, since the treasurer services are up on the salary? $8,000 for treasurer professional
That
services. What
is
is,
the accounting firm that comes in on a monthly basis.
oh,
All the
oh,
books.
right, the king, the king.
Okay, right.
Why don't we write that? So then no one has to.
You don't
is it-
use king and king every year. You need to put
Right.
in what it is.
All right, moving on. Tax collector. Any issues with this one?
I don't see anything jumping out here.
P and Z.
Remember, the reason why they're up is they're doing the plan of conservation and development, which is something that is necessity. Other than that, I think they're pretty flat.
Is that the town planner line you're talking about, Tracy?
Yeah, I mean, you see it was 3,000 last year, it's 6,000 this year, but they do have to do the plan of conservation and development. It is required. And it is actually, if it's only up $3,000 to $6,000, I can tell you it's a ton of work and that's a bargain. In my opinion. It is a ton of work.
At another time, Tracy, could you just email me what this is? Because I have no idea. And I believe you. I just would like to know.
Okay, the plan of conservation and development, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
It is
All
up on
right,
the
guys,
website.
libraries-
I think under
libraries
planning and
coming next-
zoning, if he wants to look at, if Carrie wants to look at it on the website, it's a 10-year plan for the town.
Okay. So the $8,000, wait, where were we at?
6,000, Carrie.
Okay, is that going to be over a period of 10 years?
No, it's just for this year, just for 20 to 21, then it goes back down for the next year.
Right, they have to write this they have to have it done with a 10-year plan. And
Oh,
it's about all the conservation and development in the town and what they see happening and what they're planning to do and how we should move forward with that.
Yep.
I can tell you, it is a huge undertaking.
sounds like it.
It's a mandate.
It's a mandate. So we don't have a choice. And again, to me, if it's $3,000 more, I think it's a bargain because it's a beast of a project.
Okay,
All right, guys, we got library coming in next week, so we can
Yep.
deal with that budget item next week. Everything else we've accomplished. Let's move on to our agenda. I'll save this for now.
Thank
And
you,
we
Chris.
can finish because the hour's growing late.
Very.
Can you send this out to everybody?
I will send you a copy tomorrow or Monday when I get to send all the minutes and stuff.
Awesome.
All right, back to agenda. Which is, we have minutes.
There you go.
I have no old business or new business. I'd like to get to approved minutes and get
I'll
gone.
bring this up. Give me a second.
Did everybody get a copy of the minutes? Did everybody read them over? We don't have to look at them. They were attached. Anyone?
Hold on.
Does anybody open these emails?
I can't open anything that comes from Chris Parkhurst. I cannot open. I don't know why, and no one seems to know why.
I
So,
intentionally block you.
yeah.
Evil
I'm glad I
plan.
got at least a little bit of a chuckle today.
Okay. Read on, I've read them. Once you're done reading them, if somebody would make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second it, Dave Fenn.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's voted on
Who ma-
unanimous.
Who made the motion?
Bill,
Phil made
Phil,
motion, Dave seconded it.
Okay. Yep.
public comment.
Do we have public here?
Someone called Douglas.
Doug, you want to talk?
Going once, going twice. Hearing no public comment, motion to adjourn.
So moved. I'll second.
Second.
Okay, Phil made the motion, Chris seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
See you next week. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Carrie.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
Happy birthday,
Carrie.
Carrie.